everybody, my name is Anna and I'm one of the staff here at the Historical Museum of St. James-Assiniboia. Throughout 2021, we've been celebrating 100 years of St. James, since St. James formed its own municipality in 1921. In January of 1921, the first meeting of the Council of the Rural Municipality of St. James was held in this building that I'm standing in right now and that's pictured beside me. The minutes of that meeting give us a window into what the municipality of St. James was like in 1921. Until they found their own building to hold meetings in, the council used the Assiniboia Municipal Hall. The legality of this choice was questioned at the council meeting because St. James had just separated from Assiniboia. But it wasn't an issue for long because the St. James Council soon moved to the old Ross building. This armchair beside me was presented to the Reeve of the Rural Municipality of Assiniboia in 1912. It remained in the council chambers in the upstairs of the Assiniboia Municipal Hall for many years, so it may have been used by Joseph Godkin, the new Reeve of St. James, in that first meeting in 1921. This picture shows the first St. James municipal staff in front of the Ross building. The building used to be a candy store located by the north entrance to Assiniboine Park. In the same year, the council moved again to the original Linwood School building that wasn't being used at the time. They met there until new municipal offices were built on Portage Avenue in 1934. Here we have a picture of the offices on Portage, pictured on top in 1956 and on the bottom today in 2021. One of the things that had to get done at the first St. James Council meeting was creating committees to deal with the different parts of city life. Here's a little quiz for those of you watching at home. Of the options that I'm going to show you next, which one of these committees was not one formed in the first St. James Council meeting in 1921? So your options are A, Police, License and Relief, B, Fire, C, Protection, Community Services and Parks, or D, Office and Supply. If you chose C, you are correct. This is one of the committees on the current Winnipeg City Council, but it was not one of the committees in 1921. The other committees in 1921 were Health and Scavenging, referring to waste collection, Finance, and Water, Light, Roads, Buildings, and Engineering. In 1921, St. James boasted many modern services and amenities which appealed to its growing population. For example, streetcar tracks were extended to Sturgeon Creek in 1903, and construction of electric street lighting began in 1914. You can see in this 1921 map how much more urban St. James, on the right side of the map, is than the rest of the municipality of Assiniboia, which it had separated from. True or false? The first automatic signal for passing streetcar tracks in the greater Winnipeg area was installed in 1916 in St. James. If you guessed true, you are correct. The current progress of the installation of sewer and water services on residential streets was one of the pressing issues in the first council meeting. It was announced that water mains were complete on Linwood Street, but were in process or stalled due to contract issues on Winchester, Roseberry, and Parkview. Complaints from St. James residents sparked discussion at the council meeting about the moonlight schedule. This schedule was meant to save money in electricity by turning off electric streetlights about 5 nights a month. However, numerous residents had complained on nights when the street lights were off, but the moon wasn't out or it was cloudy. Here are some quick facts about the infrastructure of St. James in 1921. The population was around 10,000. They had around 100 kilometers of sidewalks, about 40 kilometers of both sewers and water mains, 292 fire hydrants, 5.6 kilometers of paved streets, mostly portage all the way along the length of St. James, and for the residential streets, 15.2 kilometers of graveled roads. As evidenced by the police and fire council committees, these were two services that were crucial to the success of any community in the early 1900s. A joint fire and police hall on Berry Street had been built for the Municipality of Assiniboia in 1912. In 1921, it became St. James No. 1 Fire Hall and Police Station. The St. James Police Force, pictured here, had 11 members: Chief Sergeant, a detective, clerk, and 7 patrolmen. The force also owned 2 motorcycles, which were the first to be used in the greater Winnipeg area, and an ambulance. Here is the fire hall and station pictured today. In 1921, the fire department responded to approximately 100 calls a year. Now, to give you a more personal snapshot of St. James in 1921, I'd like to introduce you to Annie Godkin, the wife of Joseph William Godkin, who served as the first Reeve of St. James. Oh, hello. So I hear you'd like to hear about St. James. Well, it's quite the little town. There was an article in the Winnipeg Evening Tribune. Now, St. James has its own paper, The Leader, but Joseph likes to get both at home. So anyway, the article in the Tribune, they were saying that St. James has 10,000 of the most orderly citizens in all of Canada. Only 2 arrests made last year. My brother is actually on the police force. The station is just 6 blocks from here. It's a nice big brick building with cells, a courtroom, and a room for recreation. And the fire hall is housed in the same building. Less than 10 years ago, the fire department would pull up water from the creeks or the wells, but nowadays there's fire hydrants everywhere, and it's greatly improved the safety of the area, in my opinion. It really has everything that you'd need in a suburb, and conveniently close to Winnipeg as well. Did you know that the streetcar runs until 3 o'clock in the morning, and then starts again at 5? So you'd hardly need a vehicle, but if you do, Portage is the best street around. It's paved all the way through St. James, you know. It's mostly British Protestant families, but there's a Roman Catholic church too. And now, I don't have any children of my own yet, but when I do, there's lots of excellent choices of schools. There's St. James School and High School, Britannia School, Bannatyne, and Strathmillan. And when they're not in school, the children get up to all sorts of fun and games. They play baseball at Melrose Park, and there's always someone that's cleared off a section of the river in the winter to skate on. Recently, there's also been a couple of skating rinks. For example, Mason's Rink on Marjorie, and another on the Ross property near the pontoon bridge to Assiniboine Park. Bruce Park is a lovely little green space in the middle of town where lots of families camp for a weekend in the summer. You can even swim or canoe on the creek. And of course, St. James is right by Assiniboine Park, which has plenty of room for tennis, cricket, and picnics. The pontoon bridge is assembled every summer to allow access to the park from the Ross property across the Assiniboine River. And the zoo there is a must-see for all ages. Did you hear that they got 2 alligators this summer? I'm actually getting ready for a social being held at the park this evening. The pavilion there has a lovely dance hall and a banquet room, and there's an event happening just about every weekend of the summer. I've chosen this pink evening dress for the event because it has that simple La Garçon silhouette of Paris. Straight lines, modern, comfortable. I like to keep up with the trends, as being the wife of a politician means being in the public eye a certain amount. And I must say, the cropped hair is convenient to maintain. It pairs so well with the bows and the feathers and hats that are so popular nowadays. Well, I really should be going, but I hope you enjoy your visit in St. James. Bye for now.